Warning. The following podcast is utter nonsense and may cause agoraphobia, kleptomania, insomnia, and oppositional defiance disorder. We are required by law to provide you with this disclaimer for hazardous materials.
And welcome to Hazardous Materials, last week's comics this week. My name is Case Johnson, and with me as always,
Gideon Gonzalez.
How are you doing?
Pretty good. Got to read the best version of Venom over this week.
The best you were telling me about that, but it's not in fact Venom.
No, in Doom Patrol number 4 from Gerard, Way, and Nick Pitarra is it is a Speedo from space that attaches itself to bodybuilders such as Flex Mentallo.
And Gerard, wait, that's from My Chemical Romance.
Yes, he's been writing Doom Patrol for a good 2 or 3 years at this point.
You know, in between his bouts with Dark Horse's Umbrella Academy,
yes.
Which season 2 is coming up in like a couple months now.
Yeah, and the Volume 3 trade came out, I think, last week or 2 weeks ago.
I need to get my hands on those things. I really gotten a hunker, but we're talking about what this symbiote is in Doom Patrol. And of course, since it's Doom Patrol, it's going to be completely screwed up.
So Flex Mentallo, for reference, it's a parody of the old Charles Atlas, the insult that made a man out of Mac ad, where the kid's on the beach.
Kicking dirt.
Yeah. And he orders the Charles Atlas workout plan and becomes a big hunk. Mm-hmm. And the hero of the beach appears above him.
And they flex. Oh, yes. You're so manly.
So Flex Mentallo is that kid, but his power is muscle mystery, where when he flexes, he can warp reality, and the words "hero of the beach" do appear over him like a halo. It's great.
How did he acquire this ability?
From working out.
So working out.
He mailed off for a special workout plan, and he learned to control his muscles so well that he's able to warp reality.
So my understanding is that with a healthy workout, at this time, I feel like I should be putting in a piece for one of my buddies. He's got a YouTube that is all about workouts, Pure Bullfit, if you want to try it out. But it seems to me that working out does one of two things. It either lets you warp reality or destroy everything with one punch.
Yes, this is fact.
It makes me want to get in on that. I want to warp reality with one punch.
Gamble a stamp.
So tell me about this symbiote.
So they do a little homage to the Secret Wars number 8 cover with Spidey getting the suit, but it's Flex from behind as it's covering his leopard trunks.
Of course.
And they come back to Destiny Beach, which is where he comes from, and we've never seen it before.
Okay.
And it's in shambles because this other gang of bodybuilders has horned in and has been winning the competition for years now since Flex has been with the Doom Patrol. And their leaders, of course, wearing those trunks.
Oh.
So what ultimately the way they wind up winning is Rita Farr, Elastigirl, who has a very glorpy biomass.
Right.
Just makes herself
I see where this is going.
Bigger and bigger into a pile of muscles.
Doom Patrol is kind of having a heyday now.
Yes.
With its being one of the top shows on DC's streaming service.
It's phenomenal. It's my favorite superhero show of all time.
I've seen a few episodes of this, and I'm glad to say they are really sticking to the absolute weirdness of this.
Oh, yeah.
And not a lot of people know, but Doom Patrol is actually the direct influence that DC had over Marvel's creation of the X-Men.
I don't have a direct influence. They had there's 3 months between them, so Stan might have wholesale stole it.
So this is one of those maybe could be kind of rumor things.
There's definitely some convergent evolution going on there, but how much of it was Stan looking over Arnold Drake's shoulder, we don't really know.
So I could have been talking rumors just now.
Could have.
I feel dirty. All right. Well, moving on. You apparently love this Green Lantern issue. I read it. I didn't get a chance to read Doom Patrol. I read Green Lantern. And it felt insane.
Yes.
We got Hal Jordan going up against the
Quaman.
Yes, which is the anti-universe version of him.
Whose text is all backwards.
Yeah, and that was really...
It's not just spelled backwards, it is printed backwards.
You gotta go to a mirror. And when they actually really start talking and that stuff towards the end of the book, it's like, you gotta put it up against the mirror. And he's interrupted by the... anti-universe version of Sinestro.
Who I really appreciated that his costume is a palette swap of the classic one. So it's black on blue instead of blue on black.
Yeah, I was a little thrown by that. I was like, is it just a different costume? It feels like it's a classic, but it's different.
And I love that that anti-Sinestro, who is like the model fascist on the main universe, his opposite is a dashing, lovable rogue. Yes.
It is a lovable rogue in this. And it seemed like he was using the yellow ring, though.
Yes.
Yeah, he was using the yellow ring. And he got pretty sizzled halfway through this.
I hope he's okay, because I really liked him a lot. I thought it was a fun character.
So this whole thing kind of feels like it's squaring off and trying to introduce the Dark Stars, which are now in their universe the Black Stars. Am I reading that right?
Yes. It's a mix between a couple of different groups, but yeah, Dark Star is one of them, and then the controller mashed them all together and created the Black Stars.
Okay, and I noticed that they've been calling Hal Black Star. Jordan.
He had infiltrated the team at the midway point of the series. The Guardians had him go in as a plant, and then of course, being Hal Jordan, he's not great at the whole stealth thing.
This is what happens when I checked out a Green Lantern. I did check out a Green Lantern right around issue 4 of this particular run.
Oh, it's so good.
12 now, right?
You've missed so much good stuff. Kind of going back to the issue, we've got the ultimate reveal of what Controller's plan is the creation of a miracle machine, which is a literal Deus Ex Machina from Final Crisis that allows you to recreate the universe, but with couple caveats.
Right.
This in Final Crisis, Superman did it to recreate the universe without Darkseid's influence. Green Lantern, the Controller's using it to remove the Green Lanterns, which is why Green Lantern as a book is going on hiatus while we have a 6-issue Black Star book.
Right. I was about to bring that up to you. And I noticed that also at the very end of this book, it seemed like a reintroduction or reimagining of the antimatter lanterns.
Yes.
I don't know if you remember this. You probably don't unless you've been reading some really old books. But back in the early mid 80s, I think it was like Green Lantern 50 or an annual. I feel like it was 50. It was a celebration issue. It was an anniversary issue. And they introduced the antimatter lanterns. And they were like kind of dark blue with gray and white. And they all were the same alien race. Like they were like clones of each other.
They were all Thunderers, right?
No, they weren't Thunderers. They actually had black rings.
Okay.
And they were the antimatter lanterns. So I saw at the end of this, we got these almost palette swaps. So we got the red with the yellow with the gray, and they're all cyborged out and kill, die. It's like, okay, that seems like the new antimatter lanterns to me.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see what season 2 is going to have in store and what Black Star is going to have in store Black Star will have in store for us.
Whew. Yeah, I'm kind of curious where that's going to go. I will read Green. Well, I guess I can't really read Green Lantern until the hiatus is over. So I guess I'm going to have to read that Black Star series.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
So we'll be covering the Black Star series as it unveils and see where that leads into our new Green Lantern boys. Next up here, this is a book. Well, we talked about this a couple weeks ago, and it was Legion of the Superheroes Millennium and how we were kind of really let down by issue 1. So you and I weren't really too thrilled with reading issue 2. And guess what? We didn't. So we just kind of scanned this book to kind of see if there was anything relevant in it.
It did have a really nice Booster Gold sequence by Nicola Scott. They did have a nice
Booster Gold sequence. I saw that because he was talking about, if I could go in past and I could be a hero, that looks like Booster Gold to me. But almost at the very end of the book, this thing happened. What you're looking at here is Bendis' reimagining of the Legion of the Superheroes lineup, and it looks really good.
I really like most of the redesigns. I like how modern a lot of them look, or even like futuristic, as they should.
Like Starboy.
Doesn't look like a bunch of kids from the 50s anymore.
Yeah, they're using a lot of really modern lines that you don't really see in superhero costumes right now. I like that. It's almost like a progressive look.
I like the hairstyles a lot. Of like Cosmic Boy's got that weird kind of like brig, almost mohawk thing.
I'm a big fan of Triplet Girl up there with her disco / Captain Cold glasses going on there.
And I think they're supposed to be magenta, yellow, and cyan, right? Like, supposed to be like photocopies. Oh, that was really cool.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty clever. That's actually something that they've always kind of used, I think. And of course, you got Dawnstar. They're over there on the far right and right center. That's my boy Wildfire, right where he needs to be.
But right next to him is my boy Matter Eater Lad, the best
I was kind of
Legionnaire.
curious if that was Matter Eater Lad, but you said they kind of made him a little bulky.
Yeah, which I've always loved that he looks like Space Jughead, but
which is what exactly he is.
Yeah, I guess it does make sense for his species to be a bit stockier, built like Gorons.
But what I was saying at the very beginning of this is Starboy, to me, feels like the best design going on.
Oh, yeah. He's always had one of the best designs, like that just plain Starfield costume he had for a while.
Yeah, they're using the Starfield, but they're using that great Star logo, and it's all lined out. His face is all lined out so you can see the features.
It reminds me of a Captain Marvel costume. Like, it's got some hints of like Carol and of Genesis.
It does feel like the Genesis costume, which you can see right here.
Yeah.
I love that. That was my favorite part of the comic. After that, I was like, oh, okay, cool. Moving on.
Now we can actually read the Legion of Superheroes book when that comes out in a couple weeks.
Read that. Funny thing, I saw this in a quote, and this actually gave me goosebumps when I read it, is that Bendis considers this the biggest thing he's ever done.
That's pretty big because
that's a bold statement.
From the man who killed Hawkeye.
Oh, God. So... this next one, I did not have any idea it existed. And when Gideon told me about this, I had to look it up. And when I looked it up, I was like, oh, it's a DC book because it's got Deadshot in it. Nope, it's not a DC book. What we got here is Image Copra #1, which is in fact Copra number 32.
Yes.
And I didn't really know that going in. I honestly had to read this book twice. I had to read it once. First time, I was angry about it because I felt like, okay, a 12-year-old wrote this and drew this. This looks horrible. But I was like, okay, I started looking around. And I saw this has actually got some serious indie cred. And right before we were getting ready to record, I started getting, well, am I going to lose my comic cred by slandering this book? And I was like, at the end, you know what? I'm just going to go with it. I didn't much care for this book, but I see where its origins are coming from, and I see why it's like the way it is, and I see why some people like you enjoy the hell out of this book.
Yes.
So let's hear what you guys say about this.
So the elevator pitch I always give for Copra is that it's 80 Suicide Squad with the serial numbers filed off. It is the best bootleg comic you'll ever read.
And that's exactly what it felt like. It felt like a bootleg comic you'd get at like a hash shop.
Yeah, I really love Michael Fiffe's art style. It's got this really unique grungy look to it. It reminds me a lot of, oh my God, I can't believe I'm blanking on it. Ed Piskor, the guy who does X-Men Grand Design. So they come from very similar schools of art there. But I'm really sad that this is going to be a lot of people's first exposure to Copra because it's branded as a #1 because Image just picked it up. Because before this, the prior 31 issues were only available through mail order through Michael Fiffe himself.
And you were telling me that the original #1, which only has like maybe a couple of hundred issues, is going for some outlandish prices.
Yeah, like around $800 to $1,000 is last time I checked.
That blows my mind.
Yeah, it's one of those books that's like, I wish I was made of money so I could own one.
Well, I
got the Image dollar reprint, so which I might just gift you one of those. I'd be like, please, Casey, give it another go.
You know what? I promise I will give it another go. Right now, it's not my cup of tea, so to speak, but I do like Suicide Squad, and I am also clearly aware of what an acquired taste is.
Yes,
so I will give it another shot. But right now,
I would highly recommend if you like the concept of Suicide Squad or if you love 80s Suicide Squad like I do, or if you even just want a really badass action story, probably don't jump on with the new Copra #1. Go and track down the trades. There's 5 of them and they're all phenomenal.
Yeah, apparently it's unapologetically throwing you right in the middle of everything. Even apologizes at the end of this comic saying, I probably shouldn't have done it this way, but there was really no way I had to do it. I had to give it justice for the cliffhanger. Yeah, apparently that was in 31.
31 ended on a cliffhanger and 32 is like no skipping. It's exactly what happens right after. I don't know if you caught this character's name, but Francisco Castillo.
Is that the
He is the cyborg Punisher character.
Oh yeah, I saw the Punisher. He had the tiny little yeah.
He's got like a black and white
It's
jumpsuit.
like a Terminator Punisher.
Yes.
Yeah. I was wondering what was going on with that. I thought it was just this is another Punisher ripoff, and they're just going to use him to blow these guys away. But apparently he's their leader.
He was a team member of theirs, and he was a mercenary that kind of worked with them on the side. And then in this issue, one of the things they're picking up from from 31 was that after his fight with another robot, the other robot uploaded his consciousness into his cyborg parts and took over his body.
Okay. So that's where we're at with that guy.
Yeah. A lot of stuff they threw at you.
Okay.
There's a pretty detailed previously on at the back, which after I found, I was like, oh, thank God I'd forgotten a lot about this because Volume 5 came out at least a year ago at this point.
I was having a hard time trying to get through this. So when I saw that part, I didn't really read it in depth because I figured you told me what was there and what I was to expect. So I was like, page. Okay. Put that away. All right. So with the end of Copra, we're going into the follow-up of one of my new favorite books, Immortal Hulk. We find out just what we're dealing with after Hulk ripped his face and chest off.
Yes. I actually kind of liked that it was a fake out, that it's not actually Savage Hulk. That it's just Devil Hulk.
He's like, oh no, I'm in charge here.
Him slapping the guy with his face, his acid covered face.
And oh my God, Abomination, who is apparently General
14.
Yeah, Reg 14, which looks like Regulation 14. Sound like a nun. But he misses Hulk and dissolves two of his own guys. And I was like, that's grisly as hell. And then spits a full blast right in Hulk's face.
And God, the way his skull is
it's just malformed. He was clearly dead. It's like, how is he going to get through this? Oh, that's right. This is Immortal Hulk. I'm reading an Immortal Hulk comic.
And I love the way he just yanked him out of the Abomination for the end of the fight.
Exactly. Oh my God. This book is so disgusting. You and I were talking about this because I showed up at your job to try to get some comics earlier today. And we were talking about the fact that Hulk obviously had gotten a little stale over the past few years. And that's the reason why Marvel's like, okay, that sounds disgusting, but we're going to let you do it because we need the readers. And from what I'm understanding, Immortal Hulk has done some really good numbers.
Oh, yeah. It was outselling Batman for a couple of months there.
That blows my mind.
Yeah.
Because Batman's a steady seller for years.
Oh, yeah. And Hulk.
Hey, it sounds like they made a good choice with making him disgusting and immortal.
Yeah. Al Ewing and Joe Bennett are absolute wizards.
Because it's been, oh, God, years since I've read a Hulk book. And now you got me hooked on this thing.
We should definitely touch on the ending of this issue because I feel they've touched on.
That thing was so horrifying.
They touched on this kind of future thing before, like I think a couple issues ago. There were some hints for it.
Yeah, so we're talking about the end of time, and I guess this needs a preface because at the very beginning of this book, you see the origins of Galactus, which is the end of the previous universe. You have Galen of Ta, who's the last survivor of the previous universe, merges with the being who is like basically, I guess, eternity. Yeah. And they create the new universe. So they kind of set the stage for what they're going to be doing at the very end of this book. And you see, it's the end of our universe. And the only two people that are around are Bruce Banner and what seems to be a dead body of Mr. Immortal from the Great Lakes Avengers. So Eternity shows up to do pretty much what he did last time. And it didn't go very well for him.
No, this happens.
And this scared the hell out of me. I mean, on top of the fact that Banner's already got that messed up looking face, this weird Cronenberg body horror moment happens with poor Eternity getting essentially devoured, ripped apart and devoured.
Now we're going to get World Devourer Hulk. Have you seen the cover to number 25, the next issue? It's, how classic Eternity looks with like the Starfield in his face. It's like a roaring Hulk with like all that Eternity pattern all over him.
Oh, I guess we're just going to look at that right now.
Oh, it's amazing. And then, but we also were spoiled this week because we got 2 issues of Immortal Hulk.
We got the Absolute Carnage tie-in.
So the last issue of Absolute Carnage ended with the Venom symbiote jumping on to Bruce Banner, who was then immediately eviscerated by Carnage, and which woke up the Devil Hulk, as is wont to do. So you have
There's
a Venomized
so many Hulks. We got Savage Hulk. We got Devil Hulk.
Joe Fixit.
We got Joe Fixit, who was in this last issue.
Yeah.
Because they're on, I guess, his dreamscape where all the personalities are hanging out.
Yes.
And it's like, well, I got this one. And even Joe Fixit's coming around to agreeing what I got going on. Going back because he takes over the base.
Yes.
Of that. So apparently none of that comes into play during this.
Yeah.
This is like, this
takes place a little bit before, because this is when they were still hotel hopping a couple issues ago. And I think there's even a mention like in that issue of Immortal Hulk from a couple issues ago where Banner's kind of lost a few days. Okay. Which is probably from the events of Absolute Carnage. But here it picks up right where the Venom symbiote is attaching itself to him. Mm-hmm. And it's Banner kind of having a like psychic, like, hey, trying to come to an understanding. Like, do we want to accept
what you got going on here?
Another consciousness into our minds.
It's already crowded. Yeah.
So you have Banner, Joe Fixit, Savage Hulk, Devil Hulk all like passing through while Banner's like, here's how we came to this situation. Mm-hmm. There's a scene where Betty as Red Harpy has to carry him somewhere, and Banner is he's very practically says, well, it's going to be hard to sneak around with like me hanging down like this, so I'll have to find a way to make me smaller. And he has Betty snap his neck and then crumple his body into a little ball so she can just carry him and then drop him there at night so he can regrow into Hulk.
Apparently there are some benefits to being completely immortal.
Yeah,
was this a one shot or is this like...
It's a one shot.
It is a one shot? Okay.
Leading into the next issue of Absolute Carnage where we'll see the Venom Hulk in full.
Yeah.
A detail I really like is that the Venom symbiote can't fully cover the Hulk. He's too big.
I didn't get a chance to read that part.
Yeah, it covers like his head, his shoulders, and it looks like he's almost wearing like a trash bag crop top. It's a great look.
And Venom's pretty big as it is.
Yeah, exactly. But Hulk a big boy.
Hulk is a big boy.
He is the biggest and the tallest.
All right, so now what we got going is Runaways number 25, which
I didn't read.
I did. This felt like a transition. I still love it. I still like what Rainbow Brawl is doing here. She's still using elements from old school Runaways, and actually even kind of still using stuff from the TV series. Mm-hmm. But this was really a transition issue. This is really all just about them moving out. It's cool. Carolina and Nico are trying to be superheroes because they're trying to find a point to their existences, because they're finding that they're either bored, listless, no real point. I mean, one of them's in college. Oh, by the way, they're now a pair. I don't know if you knew that or not.
I knew that.
Okay. So, yeah, apparently their actions as heroes, running around as heroes in the new age of phone cameras and everything, pretty much got them tracked home. And now this construction crew is digging up their mansion, which if you watch the Runaways TV show, they're in the underground mansion. It's this big mound covering up this nice home that they've been squatting in this entire time. So this construction crew is coming in and essentially digging them up. At the same time, Carolina and Nico are talking about their experience with a homegrown Los Angeles hero called Doc Justice. They go into this whole big thing about, in the 90s, he was the Just. And then he was Dark Justice. Now he's just Doc Justice, but he's super cool and all this other stuff. So, yeah, that's what this whole issue is about. It seems to me like they're moving from their home and going to go seek out Doc Justice and, I guess, establish themselves as Los Angeles heroes of some sort.
The premier superhero team of LA.
That's what it seems like to me. And
they all get fun new costumes.
Well, Carolina and Nico do have costumes.
Ooh, so yes. Everyone else gets fun new costumes.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, that's the whole thing was that the construction crew shows up and it sets off Chase's alarm. Chase is the one with the gauntlets.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the hell's going on out there? And then Carolina and Nico come out. What the hell's going on out there? And they all look at her and they're like, what's going on in here? What's up with the the head to toe jumpsuit you got going on there. And it's like, well, we've been kind of doing the hero thing. Okay. So that unfortunately brought the attention to their home, and now their home's getting dug up, and now they have to leave. So that at the end of the book, that's what's going on here. They basically pack up and they pull up the Doc Justice card. And it was like, okay, we're going to go check this out. As light as this particular issue is, the issues leading up to this have been great. Big fan of this. The use of Doombot from Avengers AI.
With the sharpest suit ever.
Yes, I brought him up before with his suitcase that says Doom on it. Victor Mancha is in this, also from AI. They finally gave him a body.
Oh, he's not just a head on a Roomba?
He's not just a head on a Roomba. He's actually has a body. And it's causing a bit of a triangle because he's now romantically connected to Gert, even though that we got this whole Chase Gert thing going on. But as I said in an earlier episode, Gert is a time-traveled version of Gert. Therefore, is still essentially 15, 16 years old. Well, Chase is now 20.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
It's really weird. It's one of those love triangles where you really can't do a damn thing about it, or even so much as really even put attention to it whatsoever. So Chase is like constantly like, well, this is just what life is going to be like, and this is just going to have to suck. And in this, it also shows the fact he's got a tattoo on his belly. It says Gert with a little heart on it.
Aww.
And as soon as he walks in, because he walks into the scene shirtless, where Victor is looking at the screen, and he turns over, and all he's got is his belly in his face with the Gert tattoo, and it was like, they're just building that one up.
Oof.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Still light, still transition, not really anything going on. They're just establishing the Doc Justice character. But still cool.
Yeah. And with that, I think we're going to cut to a break really quick.
Yep.
Hey, welcome to episode 8 of Hazardous Materials, last week's comics this week. This is Brooke with Haphazard Fiction, and want to thank everybody for tuning in this week. Just a couple bits of news for you guys. If there are any comics you would like us to talk about, any characters that you would like us to dive into, please let us know. Just put something into the comments below, or feel free to message us through our social media pages. Also wanted to remind everybody once again that we are a new podcast, definitely attempting to grow and want to try to keep upgrading our podcast and put out some really great content for you guys. So we are looking for patrons. If you are interested in becoming a patron, you can go to patreon.com and search Haphazard Fiction, or you can just go to our website at haphazardfiction.com and click the link. For as little as $3 a month, you do have the capability of being a part of our family and helping us, once again, improve our equipment and maybe get more time here in the studio, so that way we can get you more content out there. But as always, we do appreciate you watching. If you would, we'd love a subscribe or a like, anything to help us get our name out there a little bit more and help people find our podcast or YouTube channel. Once again, we do thank you for listening to Hazardous Materials, and I take you back to Casey and Gideon.
All right, next up, what we got is Ghost Rider #1. This is the new title starring Johnny Blaze and the 90s Ghost Rider, Danny Ketch.
Yeah, by Ed Brisson and Aaron Cooter, who does some of the work of his career on this issue.
This is a beautiful book.
It's gorgeous, but unfortunately, that's about as much good things I have to say about it.
This is not. This is the other side of being an establishment book. Like Runaways was really almost a transition, a means to an end. This book is basically a means to an end. We're establishing who the characters are and then setting the tone for the book. But other than that,
and I know that there had been a couple of art team shifts and some weeks moved around for Avengers. This clearly was meant to come after the next issue of Avengers, which we don't have yet.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about last week, is the fact that Robbie Reyes is pretty much gone.
Which is really disappointing. I'm really hoping Avengers... I hope that they keep Robbie on the Avengers as a Ghost Rider, but I'm starting to get worried.
Yeah, because they're trying to make Danny Ketch more mainstream now. Pretty much, they're putting the same hype engine behind him that they did on Carol Danvers when she did her big Captain Marvel changeover.
I don't even say that. It's much more about Johnny Blaze than it is about Danny Ketch.
From everything I'm reading, it's going to be both of them, but they really want to focus on Danny Ketch.
It's just a weird choice. I like Danny Ketch a lot.
I like Danny Ketch. He's my preferred Ghost Rider.
But I mean, and it's a switch of us normally, because normally I'm all about the 90s legacy characters and you're all about the originals. But I don't know, there's just something so pure about stuntman sells his soul to the devil. You know,
but I just love that gigantic honking motorcycle from the 90s.
It's so ridiculous. It's
and
great.
he did come up with all the classic, now essential Ghost Rider abilities, like the penance stare, the chain, the hellfire, all the stuff that original Ghost Rider flat out didn't have.
Yeah. Just say Jason Aaron's run a few years back. I really liked how he helped differentiate between Johnny Blaze and Danny Ketch and keep them both be active and be different enough.
Yeah, there was a time when Johnny Cage, not Johnny Cage, I just
was not
Mortal
afraid to
Kombat
die.
at that one. Yeah, Nicolas Cage, Johnny Blaze, it's all connected. One of them was like orange fire, and then Danny Ketch was like a blue fire.
Yeah.
And that's how they told the difference between them. Right now, they're both doing the whole, heads on fire thing, but Blaze has like a crown in his skull.
Yeah, like his skull is like shattered and the jagged edges make a skull. I will make a crown. I will say another thing I really liked about the issue is it introduces who the villain of this first arc is going to be, which is Lilith, daughter of Dracula.
Yep.
Who wants to overthrow Johnny Blaze and become Queen of Hell. But she has a vampire girl gang who are all like riding Vespas. It's amazing.
I'm confused now. Are we talking about, is this Lilith, daughter of Dracula?
Yeah.
Or is this Lilith, the queen of monsters?
I'm pretty sure it's daughter of Dracula because she's looks like a vampire.
Okay. Well, yeah, the old school. Remember old Lilith, where she had that slinky blue outfit with a little cape thing and a little thing on her head, as you can see here in this image. That's some old school 70s Lilith right there. That's how I know Lilith.
And I think, and like her outfit in this is kind of a little bit of homage to that.
I always get her and Satana mixed up.
Yeah, very similar characters, similar outfits.
Yes. Here we got Satana, and here we got Lilith. Both 70s vamps in the classic sense of the word, that were brought up right around the same time, pretty much do the same thing. But yeah, I always get the two mixed up. But it's good to see Lilith back because I haven't seen her in almost like 10 years, maybe more.
It's been a minute. I mean, I've been reading Tomb of Dracula lately, and she's popped up there. But
wasn't Lilith, or was that Satana that was in that miniseries about Firestar getting cancer?
I did not read that one, so I do not know.
There was a miniseries for a while. It was like an all-female book.
Oh, is it Marvel Divas?
Yeah, I think it was. And it was all about Firestar dealing with the fact that her powers had given her cancer because most people don't know this, but Firestar's powers are actually not fire-based. She deals in microwaves. And this, apparently she's not proof or immune to her powers like most mutants are. So she got a little bit of cancer. It was a decent book, actually.
She's good now. So
yeah, well, yeah, she's doing fine.
Yeah,
but we're getting away from the path.
But yeah, Ghost Rider was just kind of disappointing. It just felt like a backtrack,
a bit.
Which, after how fun and bombastic that this Avengers arc has been with all the Ghost Riders, it's just felt like, so it's just kind of going to a kind of boring status quo.
It's pretty to look at.
It is. Aaron Kuder's art's phenomenal.
But no one's home.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that this is going to get better. I read it. I didn't hate it. There were some elements that I was a little tired about. The whole, I hate this great power that's been given to me, Danny Ketch routine. I didn't care for that.
Yeah.
I did enjoy Johnny Blaze busting through the portal. And that look that of him.
I wish that was the whole book. I was
like, damn, that's really cool.
I think Danny Ketch really drags Danny Ketch, and the overall meta erasing Robbie Reyes thing really put me off. But Danny Ketch is such a drag in this book. Like,
he is.
Good Lord.
And as a Danny Ketch fan, I'm like, I really hope this gets better. I mean, they got rid of one of his main supporting characters, his mother, I think off camera, if I'm not mistaken.
Also pretty lame.
And they shoehorned all of his supporting characters pretty much into the first 2 pages.
Yeah, and they had this long expository talk at the bar, and I was just like, I'm just not interested.
Okay, I get it. He owns the bar. Okay, I get it. He's not dating that girl anymore, and she's a cop.
Johnny Blaze I was much more interested in Johnny Blaze in his no shoes, white pants after Labor Day, and red polo shirt look. I was like, I want to know more about this chillax King of Hell going for like
he did look good.
weekend trip on Earth.
That spread. Take a look at this picture we're talking about of Blaze as he comes through the portal. He just looks slick, and I kind of wish he was the main character. As much as I want Ketch to have his own book. I do. I'm not a big fan of him having to share a book.
Did you read that Cy Spurrier mini from around the Jason Aaron Ghost Rider?
What's the title?
I think it was just called Ghost Rider Danny Ketch. It was written by Cy Spurrier and it had like the blue flame Danny with like the big spike shoulder pads.
I did, but it was like 8 years ago.
Yeah, it was a while back. It's good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like the idea of the color coded Ghost Rider.
As someone who grew up on Superman Red and Superman Blue, I'm always all about color coordinated versions of the same hero.
I'm actually kind of glad that they took the whole Superman Red outfit and applied it to Superwoman. So at least that costume went somewhere.
And that book was great. No one read it, but that book was great.
I read it.
So good.
It was actually one of the few DC books I was actually reading.
Criminally underappreciated book.
I was really sad when they canceled that thing.
Yeah. I think I hopped off when Phil Jimenez left. That was my big thing. Because I tried the next couple issues and it just wasn't really feeling anymore.
I think I actually hopped off right about the same time you did.
Because I think he was on the book for 8 or 9 issues. The first big arc.
I checked out right around 7 to 10 is when I checked out. Yeah. And then when I was like, I should go check out Superwoman again. How's that doing? It was gone. Yeah. I was like, well, that's a big surprise there.
Well, anyways, moving on to our
gem,
the crown jewel of every comic week.
Our last stop.
The House of X number 6, the final issue of Hawks.
Now you know exactly what I'm going to bring up.
Oh, I do. I was reading it and I was like, oh God, it's going to suck talking about this one this week.
Yeah, it's going to suck. Okay, so everything's looking good for the whole House of X. And we were talking about who's going to be on the council, the winter, the summer, and all that. And everything is revealed. And we were pretty much on the ball with who we thought was going to be it.
Exodus was kind of a wild card.
Yeah, but we both guessed it, though.
Yeah.
So we got Exodus, Apocalypse, Sinister, of course. I thought Mystique was a nice choice. Yeah. And the fact that she's sitting directly across from her son.
Yeah.
In the Summer Court, which deals with Storm, Jean Grey, and Nightcrawler. We've got the Black King and the White Queen of the Hellfire, but there's a Red King, and he's not there.
We do know who the Red Queen is, though.
Who is Red Queen?
Red Queen is Kitty Pryde, leader of the Marauders.
I did not know that.
Yeah, they mentioned that, I think, last week on Twitter, and they did a really fun cover of her in like a red pirate jacket.
Oh, okay. So they take this opportunity to showcase all the different people in the council because they're going to hold their first trial. Because mutant law is different from human law, and they're quick to establish the fact that the killing of human beings is a crime. So I decided to take my boy Sabretooth and make an example out of him. And I felt like he and I were on the same bound. So, you're going to make an example out of me. And then he just turned into a big drooling madman. Well, I'm going to kill your families and your lineages. And blah, blah, blah. I was like, dude, clean up, man.
And they exile him.
They exile him, and they exile him in the worst way. And Mystique's like, let's just get this over with. And I'm going to bring this up, and I'm going to bring it up right here. This is a cover of Weapon X number 27. If you have not read this explains all of my hardships about this character. He essentially sacrifices himself for his son and saves the day. And not only did he save the day, but the people that watched him save the day are Mystique, M, and like about the rest of the other crew. And it was like, well, what happened? Well, Creed happened. It was like, Mystique, you were there. Why are you throwing my boy under the bus like this? I mean, granted, okay, yeah, he's gone back to his normal ways and he's killing people. But okay, I get what they did. They had to make an example. And they did re-invert him to be a villain at the end of this book I'm talking about. I just feel like you could have at least thrown me a bone, showcased that he actually transitioned just recently, or that there was a sympathetic reason as to why he's actually like this right now. I just wish that Hickman had done that.
No. You get the Krakoa hole.
I get the Krakoa hole, and which is basically means I'm not going to see Sabretooth as a viable character until somebody decides to bring him into a book, which could be 1 to 7 years from now.
We'll
That's
see.
exactly what death means in the Marvel universe, or banishment. You're not going to see him for at least 4 years. At least. How long was Wolverine gone?
I think we'll come back sooner than that.
How long was Wolverine gone?
Wolverine was gone for 4 years, I think.
God damn you, Marvel.
They specifically made a point that like that we'll pull you out if we deem you useful. That I'm pretty sure we're going to see within the next year Sabretooth comes back.
Oh, God, I hope so. And I hope they do something with him instead of just drooling madman, I kill. I was like, you know what? I got my fill of that. Being a fan of this character, I still got my fill of this in the 90s. I need some more with my soup. I need some crackers in my soup. And those crackers have got to be redemptive stories.
I will say this, though, about on the council.
Mm-hmm.
At first, obviously, big Scott Summers fanboy that I am, I was like, why isn't Scott on the council? Like that he is the commanding captain of the mutant army. I was like, you know,
yes, there are some captains to this.
That's good enough.
And there were some odd choices for the captains.
But most importantly, Cyclops at the top.
Cyclops. What are the other captains? Remind me again.
I do not remember. I was blinded by being happy that Scott Summers got.
Blinded, but there are some other choices for the captains.
But more importantly than that, we do get a follow-up on Hickman's tweet from April that was a group of mutants is called an orgy. Because as Nightcrawler said, as their first law should be, make more mutants.
Yes.
And the most important part of this issue is the canonization of Scott, Jean, Emma, and Logan as a quadruple.
Yes, it seems like they're all pals now. Even Jean gave Emma a can of
the
a
symbolic
brewski.
Sharing of the beers.
Yes, we are now friends again.
More than friends.
We got to establish more than friends. I'm not sure if it really goes down to that, but I do know that they're going to try to bring
they're making more mutants.
So you really think they're going to go the whole 9 yards? And just
100%. Like just based on things Hickman's tweeted in the last few months. It's just
really?
like, and the Sinister Secrets bit about it.
Oh, that's right. Sinister Secrets. I love Sinister Secrets.
It's all coming back. But there was a couple of little background reunions I really liked. I liked Sink and Skin showing up.
I didn't see them. And I was looking.
Yeah, they're there in the party sequence.
Are they?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to look harder. It is good
Skin's
to hear.
got his Hawaiian shirt and everything.
I'm glad to see Skin back because, man, he went out hard.
Yeah, I really don't like what they wound up doing with Skin.
Yeah, way back in the day, after the Generation X book had already concluded, this is about the time that they started doing black leather clad X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
Warren Ellis, was he that did that?
Ellis did that was like Counter X stuff that was like right before or right when New X-Men started. I think that was Counter X wrapped up all the XSX books.
So was it Bendis that did the Black Jacket X-Men?
No, Morrison did.
Morrison. I keep Bendis and Morrison get mixed up. Right about the time they did that, they had either the Friends of Humanity or some other anti-mutant group crucified Skin alive on the yards of the X-Men mansion. Really
sucked.
And they killed him. And that was the end of it. Skin was not a very popular member of the Generation X team, but still, he was Gen X.
He got better once Scott Lobdell was off the title.
Yeah.
I wasn't a big fan of how he was written in those early issues, but I really liked him in the Jay Faerber and Larry Hama stuff.
I love Larry Hama.
But that was one reunion I really liked. The other one I really was very happy to see was Banshee and Siren.
Yes, I was too.
Yeah, I was like, it's just, they don't get any dialogue together, but you see them like wave at each other. And that's
clearly
really nice.
In their right minds. Banshee is no longer the brooding, half-dead thing he was. And Siren's not.
Siren's not the Morrigan, which is surprising.
Maybe they just, for all intents and purposes, she died.
Yeah.
During that process to become the Morrigan.
Yeah, that's true.
So I guess they just resuscitated her.
So do we have a pod person, Siren, and the Morrigan?
I think it's one of those things where we're not really supposed to think about it too hard.
That's fair.
Because, that's Hickman's going the long way to say, hey, I'm going to revive them, but trust me, don't think about it too hard. I was actually on some boards, and there was a lot of debate over who was a mutant and who isn't a mutant and who's considered that. And some people were also talking about the fact that Mr. Sinister is actually not a mutant.
Yeah.
And somebody brought that up to Hickman, and he took it as a dare. He goes, watch me. And he turned him into the mutant as we saw him. He's like, I'm the mutant one. And I'm like, there you go. So apparently artificial mutants count. So people like Vertigo are part of this community now. Mutates, as they're called. Ooh, almost skilled with my words. Yes, mutates count as mutants for, I guess, the intended purposes of this. So it seems like everything's kind of sewn up.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what Powers of X is going to do. Powers of X is, my point. It's another red issue, so it's going to be something big.
So what does that mean? The red issues, does that just means like something huge happens, or is this like the appearances of Moira?
Two, yeah, because number 2 was the first red issue. That was the reveal that Moira's a mutant. House of X number 5 was the next red issue, and that was the one where they revealed the resurrection stuff.
So it feels like those red things are Moira issues.
Those are the big ones.
Yeah. So we're not going to get just like a simple epilogue with POX 6.
I think Powers of X is going to go into some. Actually, I don't know if you saw this. Did you see the spoiler cover for Powers of X?
No.
Or it's not spoiler, but it's the I think they're calling it the foreshadow cover. So the foreshadow cover for House of X number 6 was a very beaten Omega Red crawling out of one of the Krakoa portals. The Powers of X one is more setting up for the New Mutants book, where they're going to go into space. And you had noted that Sunspot was noticeably absent.
Yeah.
Sunspot is Emperor of the Shi'ar.
What the fork?
Yeah. The cover is like the Shi'ar guard kneeling in front of Sunspot on a throne.
That's my boy Sunspot.
Yeah.
Everywhere he goes, he's a king.
He's doing pretty good for himself.
No kidding. I mean, he was running the Avengers for a while. Then he was running AIM for a while. Now he's running Shire. There's one thing that really kind of bugs me with the way they've been portraying Roberto. They're making him tall. And for some strange reason, the colors keeps making him white.
Yeah.
Roberto da Costa is not a white boy.
It's incredible. Yeah, like one of his first major arcs, his first panel in New Mutants is him being targeted because he's black.
Yeah. I mean, he's a dark-skinned, what do you call it? Mixed race.
Yeah.
His mother is white and his father is black. But some of the lazier colorists, especially during the Avengers issues, kept coloring him white.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating. It's got to be frustrating for anybody who identifies with that character because of his lineage, because of his background, and they see Marvel just not really giving a crap.
For years, I was really annoyed with Connor Hawke got the similar treatment in the Green Arrow stuff. Because he is an also mixed race character.
See, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, because pretty much all of his modern appearances, they just draw him like Ollie, but with a different haircut.
So he's white and what, Asian?
He is, his mother is, I believe, black and Asian.
Okay. So I thought that he was part of that whole, the Arrow Hunters or the
Longbow Hunter stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I thought he was a product of that.
He's, oh my God, I don't remember what his mom's whole deal was, but I was a big Connor Hawke fan.
I was too.
He was the Green Arrow to Kyle Rayner.
Yeah, I thought he was. I honestly thought he was going to be the Green Lantern or the Green Arrow that was going to carry us through. And then Kevin Smith brought Oliver Queen back.
To be fair, Quiver's real good. Like Quiver, real good.
Yeah.
And the Judd Winnick run after it has its ups and downs. Connor's there, but they keep making him white in it, and it was really frustrating.
Yeah, it's frustrating because I like to showcase the multicultural backgrounds of all the heroes. I like the fact that they exist, but keeping them consistent is frustrating. I mean, not only do we have this stuff going on with Sunspot, it also happens with Silk. You know, Silk suddenly goes from being a Chinese girl or Chinese American girl to a white girl with short black hair because people don't know how to draw Asian people correctly. I'm just going to get super frustrated about this because there's really there's no ending to this particular frustration. I think that Marvel is just going to continue to hire people that don't know how to draw non-white people or color non-white people for
I mean, this was a problem in the industry like for decades. This has been an issue forever.
And
like,
you think by now it would actually have been addressed, especially in this day and age.
Yeah.
I can't believe we got off on this tangent about this, but it is something that really bugs me. And its root is really a Sunspot.
Yeah. He's a great poster boy for that problem. And hopefully Dawn of X is going to address that, and we're going to actually have him look as he should.
My fingers are crossed for that.
Me too. I have high hopes for Dawn of X across the board.
Yeah. I mean, now that he's in the showcase of what is probably a more high tier book than he's been in the past few years, I'm hoping they'll actually pay attention to that.
Fingers crossed.
All right.
But that's gonna wrap up our comic coverage for today.
So we're going to go a little bit into what is now the official timeline for the DC universe. Yeah. You've got that laid out for us, don't you?
Their big announcement at New York Comic Con today from Jim Lee was DC's doing another attempt at a unified timeline, which I love the one that's included at the back of Zero Hour. Mm-hmm. I wish I had a poster of it, that just because it's very simple and concise. That one. It's great. It works. It worked well.
It needed, because Zero Hour did get a little sloppy. It needed a Hickman layout to explain what's going on.
Zero Hour, the story itself, not great. Mm-hmm. 0 Hour, the map at the end, excellent. Great stuff. But so we're now basically they're divvying up the timeline into 4 major chunks. Mm-hmm. The first one is the dawn of the heroic age, which begins with Wonder Woman joining man's world at the beginning of World War II, which I honestly think is the biggest thing to come out of this, is now that Wonder Woman is again a JSA era World War II character.
Yes.
Which I'm not super crazy about, because again, like I'm a post-crisis kid. For me, it was Hippolyta fought with the JSA in World War II. Mm-hmm. Like she kind of ventured out, and that was a big reason why she was I was like, oh no, we're not sending Diana out to man's world. I just went and saw one of the worst conflicts I ever seen, which I thought was cool and interesting. But now, which it almost seems like an attempt to line up with the movies more, but the movies was World War One. So
I thought that was an odd choice too when the movie went for World War One.
It worked. Like the movie was amazing.
I mean, I thought that maybe they did that just so they could be different, because there's so many World War II movies.
That's fair.
And World War One movies are scant.
One of the things I like about it is that World War One doesn't have as clear cut of like heroes and villains as World War II does.
And you also avoid the whole sloppy Nazi factor.
Yeah. But do you get, and hey, that trench scene, amazing.
Yeah.
Could not have had that in a World War II movie.
I did enjoy that. I was baffled by the choice, but when I saw it, I mean, I didn't think I was going to hate it. Mm-hmm. I just thought that seems kind of arbitrary. But then when I sat and thought about it, well, I mean, if you want to tread new ground, this is the way you go about it.
But yeah, so I'm not crazy about the decision to move Wonder Woman to World War II again, but whatever. We'll see how it shakes out. Mm-hmm. We're probably getting a JSA book after Doomsday Clock, and that'll probably be addressed there.
Yeah, they got to do JSA.
But the next chunk after that is the Space Age, which is pretty more of like the Silver Age.
With the arrival of Superman.
Yes, the arrival of Superman marks the beginning of the Space Age. Mm-hmm. Then after that, we have the Crisis Age, which is
like from 1985 to
2011.
2011.
Yeah, so which formerly just called post-crisis. They're not calling it the Crisis Age. I'm still going to call it post-crisis because I've called it that since I was 10. Then the last chunk is the Flashpoint era, which is the New 52 and onward.
Yeah, from 0 Hour to New. Is it from 0 Hour to New 52, or is it?
No, it's the Crisis one is from Crisis to New 52.
Okay.
Then it's Flashpoint is New 52 to today.
Okay.
Which, man, it's a wild thing that the New 52 is 8 years ago, huh?
And it was something that DC was willing to go, well, it's not working.
Yeah, Dan DiDio made the comment that like we're figuring out continuity, and I'm like, okay, under your tenure, we've had 3 of these restructurings now.
Yeah, I mean, this announcement was necessary. Because honestly, the mess that DC was is one of the reasons why I stopped reading it. Mm-hmm. I used to read DC fairly about equal. I was not a Marvel person or a DC person. I loved Marvel's stories, but I like the iconography that was in DC. I love the Flash. All the bigger than big heroes were in the DC universe, and DC also tend to favor symbols for their heroes versus what Marvel was doing. But then all the timelines got muddled, and some of my favorite heroes just got put on the wayside. Like Power Girl. Power Girl is one of my favorite ones. I was really happy when they made a solo series for her, and the Psycho Pirate basically came in and go, "Hey, guess what? You are the original Power Girl." And I was like, "That's super awesome."
That 4-issue Jeff Johns, Amanda Connor, JSA Classified arc, where it's basically just trying to make sense of all of the bajillion Power Girl origins that they'd thrown out there since post-Crisis. Because post-Crisis, there was an edict that Superman would be the last son of Krypton.
Last son of Krypton.
No other Kryptonians.
Yeah.
No Supergirl. Well, they had to do Supergirl because she's too big of a name, but instead she was like a weird
non-Kryptonian.
Yeah, she was I
She was
can't
an
remember
angel.
The Matrix. Before that, she was like a globby shape-shifting alien called Matrix who bonded with an angel and a girl about to be sacrificed by cultists.
Does this sound like somebody's RPG character or what?
Peter David Supergirl is great in spite of its absolutely insane.
Yes. I've read it and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, really fun book.
But if you tried to explain it to somebody, you'd be like,
yeah,
really?
I think it's I was very overjoyed when they started reprinting it a few years ago when the Supergirl show started. I'm like, I can't wait to drop this on an unsuspecting populace.
But they eventually got rid of that. And Supergirl, they introduced a Kryptonian Supergirl. And they told Power Girl, hey, yes, you are from Earth 2, even though Earth 2 doesn't exist. Yeah. You are the real deal. Well, which was important to me because Power Girl's my Kryptonian. And I'm still a fan of her. If Amanda Connor is ever drawing Power Girl, I'm there. I'm buying those issues. I'm buying the trade. I'm all about it.
Still feel cheated that we didn't get her drawing the Harley and Power Girl mini a couple years back.
Yeah, well, she was writing it though, right?
She was writing it. And her and Palmiotti and I think Justin Gray even came back to co-write because that was the team.
There's a lot of things that she's been writing that she needs to be drawing. And it really breaks my heart. She's not drawing anymore.
I think she's drawing, actually. This is going to lead into one of the new things announced at New York City Comic Con is the don't get too excited. I'm a little miffed by it. They're doing another Birds of Prey synergy book, but this one is Harley and the Birds of Prey, despite the fact that Harley's also in the other book.
Taking advantage of the movie.
And it's also a Black Label book. So we have two presumably the Azzarello one's going to be like a gritty crime book, and the Connor and Palmiotti one it's basically supposed to be a sequel to their Harley run.
Oh, okay.
I'm just like, why? Why does it have to be Black Label? You just had the longest run on the character without the Black Label. It just feels redundant when you have two, and it feels redundant with oh my God. The Black Label in general, I feel like is having an issue with kind of having a homogenized line. Yeah. Where we have 3 Joker Harley books that will be out around the same time. We've had we're going to have so many Batman books. Oh, God. Which I mean, like, I feel like a lot of Black Label is just DC being like, all right, creators, pitch us an idea. And other people just want to do Batman books.
If it's got cursing, boobs, or wieners in it, Black Label it is.
Yeah. I'm excited for the Question book. I'm excited for both the Wonder Woman books, but yeah, a lot of Joker and Harley books in it now. 2 very similar looking Birds of Prey books. So it's just like,
you know what? I'm just gonna trust the creators on this one and see if it actually is, because that Harley book that just came out recently, I'm still charmed by its presence.
Stefan Sajic's Harley is phenomenal.
So I'm gonna. Even though it's really just a line, it's not the same creators. I'm gonna give it with a pinch of salt. Each series, I'm gonna check out and see if it's worth a grab. Instead of just that's where that's going. Yeah.
But if we can segue that into new creative teams
on Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes, my boy Al Ewing is writing it. Guy who's doing Immortal Hulk, and before that did Ultimates and Ultimates 2, which were some huge cosmic books.
Oh, I'm in.
And written or drawn by Juan Cabal. And the lineup for the team is Star-Lord, Rocket Raccoon, Phyla-Vell, Moondragon,
yes,
Nova, and Novar.
I like the fact that Richie is back on this.
Me too. It's where he belongs.
Nova needs to be in a team book.
Yeah, he's great.
He hasn't been in a team book in decades. Well, that's an exaggeration.
And probably, I think he's in Guardians right now, but he doesn't do a lot.
He was in that team that was happening during the Annihilation wave. That's about it.
Yeah, like Annihilation, he was like the lead character.
Yeah.
And then he stuck around in the Guardians book, not like as a major figure because he was the only one to have a solo book, but he was there. So
so unfortunately, with the good also comes the
Yeah, I'm not super jazzed about the new Thor team. It's pretty predictable. Like, I think everyone knew Donny Cates was going to take over Thor. And Nick Klein's a solid artist, but I do not like that new Thor costume.
Let's take a look at Edgelord Thor. Edgelord Thor and all of his grandeur.
Yeah, it's just so... I think the biggest problem with it's too busy.
It is.
You've got the Starfield, but then you've also got the classic Thor chainmail, but you've also got spiky shoulder pads and gloves and boots, but you've also got this big old sigil chest logo.
This seems like a very severe and serious character. Not a whole lot of room for what has become now trademark humor.
Yeah,
and
he's a very jovial character.
This seems like a character that's got problems or is not really here for laughs and whatnot. And I hate to say that, I'm getting my cues on Thor from the movie, but I'm not a big Thor fan.
Mm-hmm.
And I became one when Ragnarok kind of popped in. My producer here is a big fan of Thor, and we showed him the costume. And he was like, nah. He grunted at it, and I kind of took that to be that he wasn't a big fan of that costume either. So I don't know. I'm sure this appeals to some people, but it didn't appeal to us.
Yeah, I don't know. I was like, I got a point.
All right, let's hear it.
What are the odds on Null showing up? Null is Donny Cates' pet character, who's the god of symbiotes and this big cosmic badass who pops up in all of his books. And I'm so sick of him. I'm so goddamn sick of Null. And I will bet money. I'll bet money that Null is going to show up in the first issue of this Thor run, and he's going to be the big bad.
We're going to roast the hell out of that book if that happens.
God,
well, I guess we'll find out.
I try to stay positive and don't talk about things you don't like, but sick of Null. And it's stupid. It's not a spider, it's a dragon.
Whatever the crap it is. Moving on, we're going to talk a little about some TV news. Your favorite character,
yes,
Bizzaro.
Oh, I'm so excited for Bizzaro TV. It's going to be a DC Universe show.
Okay.
Coming on 2020, mixed between live action and animation, and it's set in Bizzaro world.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it.
I just thought we were just going to get a Bizzaro theme, the villain was going to have his own show. But a suite of stuff?
It's Tales from the Bizzaro world.
Oh, that's genius.
I'm super, super, super excited for it. A Bizzaro World anthology is something you would pull out of my dream journal. Nothing I ever expected to see in real life. So,
well, I guess now you got your own streaming service. You can do stuff like that. And that's the reason why Marvel's doing What If.
Yeah, exactly. Just swing for the fences.
We got some other TV news. Recently announced and a trailer was added for is the Deathstroke miniseries.
Yeah.
That's popping up on DC's stream.
I thought I remembered hearing about it earlier in the year, but with Manu Bennett attached to it. But it's not him. It is
Michael Chiklis.
Yeah, the ever-loving blue-eyed thing.
Or the main character on The Shield. Which is how I was introduced to him.
For me, he'll always be the thing.
Or let's go back even further and let's bring up the commish.
Oh my God.
Yes, he was the commish. But he was also recently on Gotham.
Yeah. Really weird.
Yeah.
Really bad supervillain costume. Oh my God.
So this Deathstroke is clearly aimed for adults, just like the Harley TV show that's coming up. This one's going to span 12 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And already the trailer has Deathstroke just covered in gore.
Yeah.
And
buckets of blood.
Just buckets of blood. So just to kind of establish this is the Deathstroke you're getting out of this. While we're talking about that, we're also going to talk about the fact that the Harley TV show is going to come out next month on November 29th.
Which I'm actually kind of curious about just because it's got Lake Bell's Poison Ivy. I love Lake Bell.
Kaylee Cuoco from Big Bang.
Mm-hmm, as
Harley.
But it has the return of possibly my favorite Batman, Diedrich Bader from Brave and the Bold.
Oh my God, I forgot about that one.
He's a contender for my all-time favorite Batman. I do like him more than Kevin Conroy, but that's just because I'm more partial to
I reckon
Batman's.
you get your ass kicked talking like that. Here's my F-bomb. Diedrich Bader is one of my favorites. I'm surprised he's not used more. He's going to be in the new Kevin Smith, Jim Bob as the same guard.
What a lovely tea party.
I'm really looking forward to that. Last thing up on our thing is a little follow-up on the Sony Marvel solution for Spider-Man and just how it came about and what the details are.
I foolishly said that I would never have to hear about this again after the last bout of news of it, but we are.
I decided to bring it up again. The deal is different from the last episode. We talked about, you brought up the fact that the deal was done unchanged when actually it's now 75-25 with backing and take.
Yeah,
at the same ratio.
I'm more happy about that.
And apparently this deal was championed by none other than Tom Holland himself, who reached out to both Disney and Sony to make this happen. Hey, he's my hero.
Yeah.
And so not only are we going to get one more Spider-Man movie, we're going to get one more Spider-Man movie and one more affiliated movie. So it'll be like a team book or maybe a crossover. And the idea that most people gathered and what the movie execs have been heavily hinting the fact is that Spider-Man will be one of those characters who can basically jump from universe to universe. So he can be here in the Marvel Universe doing his Marvel Universe thing.
And they can legally give him the boot.
And go right over to the Sony universe and come back.
I hope that's not like a major plot point in Doctor Strange 2 Electric Boogaloo, but... it'd be a great stinger.
It would be.
Of him just like swinging into the big window in the sanctum and then being like, hi, Doctor Strange. Hi, Doctor Strange.
I really think that's what they're going to do with it.
Probably, which I'm fine with. That's okay. And then they don't, that helps Marvel a lot because they don't have to like try to weasel in Venom somehow.
Yeah. And also they don't have to pretend that Spider-Man doesn't exist when they don't have him anymore.
Yeah.
And try to shoehorn him into Sony. And people are going to be like, oh, okay, so what we're getting now is diet Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Not really Spider-Man.
I mean, I don't think it's the biggest issue to pretend like Spider-Man doesn't exist. You just don't have to talk about him.
Yeah, but that's pretty much what was going to happen. So this way, it's actually a real storyline that we can follow. And the fact remains, he can come back and he's still a relevant hero. He still exists.
Yeah.
He's just...
I mean, if nothing else, I've been a comic fan most of my life. I know how to connect the dots and make things make sense in the background.
For me, it's all I gotta have my continuity. I gotta know that Spider-Man is still around in the background somehow, and they haven't just forgotten about him. That would make me sad.
When you're gathering back issues and you got a space between 5, you just gotta connect the dots, figure it out. Back in my day, we didn't have no trade paperbacks and digital releases. That's a lie. We totally had trade paperbacks.
Yes, we totally did. Now, this wraps up this week's. I do want to point out that, yes, still a new podcast. I don't know. Are we a podcast or are we a YouTube show at this point?
It's a little bit of both.
Yeah, we're a little bit of both. I'm talking to my friends. I'm like, oh, we're a podcast. No, you actually see me.
The podcast
show.
The podcast adaptation of the YouTube show.
Yes. I don't know. Does it sound too pretentious to call us a show?
Yes.
But we still need help. If you want to help us, the best way to go about that one is join up with our Patreon page, which is right down here. Throw us a like if you like what we're doing. Comment if you, I don't know, want to tell us some recipes. I don't know. Crap, tell us something.
If you've got any theories on where Spider-Man's going or where any of the books we talked about today, if you disagree with us, if you just want to say, hey, thanks for mentioning that book. You're welcome.
Oh, last thing, a little bit of plug here. We've been kind of ignoring the piece we got centered right here in the center. This is the DC character Necron, the god of death for the DC universe.
Well, one of them.
One of them.
He's a regional manager of death.
He is actually he's a giant HeroClix figure, if you want to take him off there. He's basically used for really large battles or events. For the HeroClix games, most HeroClix pieces look like this guy. Mm-hmm. This is a Superior Spider-Man, which obviously you can't see it in my hand, so we're going to blow it up here. And this right here is a combo of Sinestro and Green Lantern Hal Jordan. Also, we're going to blow that up here. So eventually we are going to do our HeroClix episode. We're still figuring out the logistics of that because we got to do new cameras here so you can see what we're doing and all this other stuff.
And I desperately want to kick Necron's ass with a horde of Madrox clones.
I don't know if we're going to be kicking Necron's butt or not, but I do want to do like a big piece so you can see, and I think Necron's probably a good choice. But yeah, I guess that pretty much sums it up. You got anything else you want to add?
No, I think that's going to do it for this week.
All right, thanks for joining us.